Sean O'Malley versus Vera is nearly here, and it's time for a prediction. A rematch from semi-long ago that has come into fruition, but this time it's for the belt. And while Sean O'Malley did lose the last fight, I do think he has some big advantages coming into this one. Sean O'Malley's striking in his last few fights, really always, but in his last couple fights especially, has been looking real crispy. You can't deny how impressive that performance was against Aljamain Sterling. Vera is notoriously known for having a slow start in there, and he cannot get caught early by O'Malley. But I do think, regardless, O'Malley is going to take the first few rounds. I think his striking is just too clean, and he's going to have the higher output. So honestly, if this fight is going to go to a decision, I see Sean O'Malley taking it. I think it's going to be very difficult for Cheeto to win this fight by a decision. I do see this going into the later rounds no matter what, because while I do think O'Malley can put Cheeto away, Vera's chin is pretty insane. I do think that would be a difficult task, so I really don't see a knockout for O'Malley being the most likely scenario. I think that if Vera is going to win this fight, it's going to have to be by knockout. We have seen his power before. He's had some pretty gnarly finishes. I really think that's his only option for winning this fight here. I don't think he can get the decision, but will he get that knockout? That is the real question here. He could set it up, especially with the leg kicks. The leg kicks got O'Malley in the first fight. If he can hurt Sean with the leg kicks, I could see him potentially finding the opening for a big shot that could lead into a finish. I think that's probably the most likely scenario. But if I'm thinking most likely, I don't think that's the most plausible option. I do think Sean O'Malley getting the job done here is the safer bet. Like I said earlier, I think Sean O'Malley is going to win the first few rounds, and I think it's going to be hard for Cheeto to catch up. I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley by a decision. I think this fight's going to stay standing up pretty much the whole fight, and I just think that Sean O'Malley's going to get too many rounds, especially the first few, for Cheeto to make up in time, and I don't think Cheeto is going to be able to find the finish. That's what I'm going with here. But let's get into some other fights while we're here. This is a great card. We're getting Dustin Poirier back in action here. That's always going to be a fun fight, a good time. But this time, we're seeing him against Benoit Saint-Denis. And I just want to give massive props to Dustin Poirier for taking this fight. The whole lightweight division has kind of been that same 5 contenders or so for the past few years now. And now is a huge opportunity for someone new to step into these rankings. The upcomer versus the veteran. And while Saint-Denis has been on a pretty crazy run, he has deserved this chance, this opportunity. I think Dustin Poirier is going to take it. I think his experience is going to take over in this fight, and he's going to get the job done. I love Dustin's boxing, and when he needs it, he's got the wrestling as well. I think this is going to be a fun fight, but I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier by a 3rd round stoppage. I think Dustin is going to find a way to get the job done. We also have a fight that I keep going back and forth on, and I think it's an extremely fun fight, which is Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. This is just a textbook fun fight. And looking online at other people's predictions, I see so many people just saying that the other side are completely dumb, because I see some people saying it's obvious Kevin Holland's going to win, and then I see some people saying it's obvious MVP is going to win, and I just feel conflicted. Kevin Holland is the younger fighter. He's got the youth on his side, but I also think he lacks a little discipline in there that MVP has. MVP is also a much more seasoned veteran, but I think Kevin Holland has the better power for sure. I think it's gonna be a tough one. I think it could be back and forth. I could see MVP having success early and Kevin Holland starts to land some nasty shots. I think that could be potentially what happens. I'm gonna go Kevin Holland in a 2nd round knockout. We'll see how this one ages. Up next, we got one of my favorite fighters, Gilbert Burns versus Della Maddalena. And I'm going to try to keep this one pretty short. I'm going with Gilbert Burns. I think this is a great comeback fight for him, and I think he's going to have a great performance, a dominant performance, but I still think it's going to go to a decision. I'm going Gilbert Burns by a decision. Not much else to say about this one. The first fight to open up the main card is another banger. We got Petr versus Yadong, and it's kind of a difficult one because I see some people saying that Petr is just washed, that it's done, he had his time, and now it's time to move on. But I think he's got the comeback in him, man. I think he can get this job done. I think we're going to see him bounce back in this fight. Maybe that's just what I want to happen. I felt for Jan in his last few fights, coming off of these few losses, has been rough, and I really want him to make a comeback in his division. And I do think this is a winnable fight for him, and I think he can get this job done. I wanted to say decision, but with these guys striking, I feel like there's going to be a finish. Either a third round decision or a third round finish. Let's go with a third round finish for Petr. I'm going to stick with that. I don't know how confident I feel about it, but that's what we're going with. That's what we're sticking with. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win the main event? Where did I go wrong in these predictions? Let me know. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so subscribe if you feel like it. That'd be pretty cool. The support is much appreciated. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Peace.